Welcome back to the Chuck Clark Coaches Show here on the BCHS Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. I'd like to first off thank Mr. Gwen Shroy and the students back here in Studio H12 make all these programs possible. And you can watch them all on the BCHS Bear Network on Facebook, also on YouTube, and you can find that link on Twitter as well once these are posted for your viewing pleasure. I'd like to welcome Coach Chuck Clark, longtime head coach of the Bears, also a special guest. And tell us who you brought along today here, Coach.
I brought along a senior with me today, Cole Haney. So he's one of the leaders of the basketball program and been vital to the program now for this is his 4th year. So we get to celebrate, have senior night tonight. And
he's one of 4.
One of 4. So it's going to be a good evening for those guys.
I always look forward to senior night. It's a great time to honor the kids that have earned it and have stuck with the program for 4 years and all that. And I know it's one of those sort of melancholy, man, I hate this guy's graduating, but you're proud that you're graduating too, it's.
These guys, that they've meant so much to the program, the 4 seniors that we have between Mason, Tucker, Isaac, and Cole. They're such young men of great character, and their attitudes are really, really nice and good. They're better than nice. They're really good. And so, those juniors that are coming up, they've got some big shoes to fill from these guys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, and it just, it's a continuation. Saylor and those guys carried it over really well, Dakota and Ashton. But they hopefully, it's a learning process for each one. And so I know that Cole has learned something from Saylor and those other guys who have came before him. And it's good to watch these young men grow up. And I'm excited to see what happens later on with them. And because, basketball is here today and can be gone tomorrow, but having relationships with these guys and building friendships and all, and just knowing that you had a small part in what goes on with their life later on, it means a whole heck of a lot.
And I think they appreciate it too. It works both ways there for you. Well, since we last met, Coach, you've had 2 big wins, district games here at home against our oldest rival, McMinn County, then we had Ooltewah last week. The one thing, looking at just pure numbers that jumps out at me, is you had 4 players in double figures in both those games. And if you can continue to do that, it makes it really hard for the other team to figure out who we're going to stop.
Well, it really does. Mason has picked up the speed a little bit, but Tucker Green has really turned it on.
He sure has.
And then Carter Howard has turned up his game a little bit. And then Brandon, he didn't score the other night against Ooltewah, but he was in double figures against McMinn County. And then Josh Wyckoff comes off the bench and has double figures. So when you look at that, and Isaac has been in double figures a number of times this year, and so it's we've got 6 or 7 guys that can put the ball in the hole, and that's what we needed. And with Josh getting part of his confidence back from Ooltewah, that gives us another guy that has the potential to hit the 3 ball. And so we already had 4 or 5, and so that puts another one.
He had some blocks and some rebounds in there too in that game. He played extremely well.
He had a really nice game. I mean, it was good to see him come out of his shell, I guess, but. We got a tough one coming up Saturday, but then, 2 tough ones with East Hamilton and Warren County, who is leading that district over there. So it's preparing these guys for the tournament time, and that's what it's all about. But this is where Cole and those other 3 guys' senior leadership comes in, because they've been through the battles and they've witnessed it, whether they've been out on the court or seen what it was like. And so it will be, I always depend upon seniors, but even more so now, this time of year, seniors have got to really show themselves and be the leaders that they are.
Well, you didn't have East Hampton on the Thursday game we have this week. Originally, they were a December game on the schedule, and COVID knocked them out down there. So you got Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday this week. And that's really a good way to wrap up the final week of the year, because you're going to have a few days off before you play in a tournament, which will start on the 17th, and we won't be playing that first night, but we play the second or third night, I guess, after that. But it gives you a chance to build off the momentum you've got, those last two wins over McMinn and Ooltewah, and just continue, hopefully, carry that over into the postseason, because it's any level of tournament play in postseason is all about who's hot right now. You can get hot and go on a streak, and who knows how far it'll take you.
Well, it really does. You know, you go back a few years ago, and I mean, this is really a few years ago. We got hot with Coach Smith, and I brought it up to the players that we had a team that started out 0-10 and then went 1-11.
I remember that.
And then all of a sudden, we're playing in the district championship because we started hitting our stride. We changed our way that we were coaching. Coach Smith was really good about that, and so we simplified things, and the guys really, it helped them out, and it showed, because that, if you talk to Coach Smith, he will tell you that that's probably the most satisfying seasons he's ever had.
Yeah.
And it really was, because to start out like that, that was not fun. And but those guys really picked it up, and next thing you know, we're playing district championship. Had a chance to win the game, and so that's what I brought that up to these guys again. You know, we start getting hot and playing our basketball and doing what we're supposed to do, then we can very easily be in that district championship, and then going on to the region and playing. I told them, I said, I'm expecting 7 more games at least. I believe it's 7 or 8. That means region championship, and that's my goal. That's my expectation, and that's what I believe these guys can do.
Well, talking about that streak where that team did, I remember that very well. And we'd come off some fantastic seasons. We've twice been state championship finals, and then a couple of years later, all of a sudden, we started 0-10, and everybody said, "What in the world's going on?" And I've talked to Ken about that, and he said, "You know, I realized I was wrong. I was trying to do things that my kids were not capable of doing." And I think as a coach, you have to recognize that too. You want to do things a certain way with defense or offense or scoring, whatever, but there comes a point where this is not working. What I've got to take an inner look at myself, see what can I do as a coach, as a good coach, to make things successful for my players. And then when Kent found that magic button that year, it turned it around. I think we ended up with a winning record after it was all said and done.
I think it's 16-14 is what we ended up.
And you have to evaluate everything you're doing once you determine what the players can do.
I can remember us sitting when we go to Riverdale, and we're in the hotel room, and I can't remember if we won the first game or I guess we won the first game we beat Riverdale, which was a nice win for us. But then we turned around and got beat the next game. But we sat, and Coach Reuter and Coach Smith and myself, we sat in there trying to figure out what in the world are we going to do. And then when we got home over the break that we had, we were on the phone talking. We were meeting up here and just trying to figure out what buttons did we need to push, what did we need to drop. Really, it's cut off. We had to cut some fat off, and from what we were doing, because we were overloading our brains, and that was not working. And so I think we went back and played a lot of zone, where we were playing a lot more man, and we simplified the offense. And I'm telling you that once they got a hold of it, then they bought in, and it's all about players buying into it, and that's what I try to remind these guys, you know. And I think that we've still kept it. I think we've simplified things, haven't we? Or y'all are getting used to it, what we're doing, and I think that's part of it is getting all of these guys, because you know you'll be playing one day and take a break. With the COVID situation, and we were starting to play good ball, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're off for 3 weeks, and so it's hard to get any continuity going. But I think these guys are starting to get that continuity, And Cole could answer that better than I could.
Especially with the last few practices that we had, you can tell everybody's starting to buy in a little bit. Everybody's starting to play harder, be better teammates and everything, less toxic, you know. It's going better right now.
Well, I happened to be in the gym yesterday during 4th block when you guys were practicing for a couple hours, and I seen a lot of the practice there. You probably didn't know I was in there, but I was observing, and there was no slack cut for anybody. I mean, you were pushing them hard, and Drew was pushing them hard on the other end, and that's what you need to build to this time of year. And Cole, you're 4 years in program. You come a good bloodline. Your grandmother, Lucretia Banks Haney, who's on staff here as a counselor, she was on a state title team. You know, she's been through the war. She can tell you what it's all about. And I know you've been proud to wear the black and gold here, and you're going to be honored tonight as a senior. And what does your future hold for you? We talked a little bit off the record here, but
right. Yes, sir. So as of right now, I am waiting to see if I got into West Point Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy. While I've also gotten offers from Lee University, UT Martin, and Alabama. So I plan to double major in political science and psychology, and hopefully get into law school and go work for the Tennessee State Department of Law.
You got it all figured out.
I do. Yes, sir.
Of the military academies, though, which one, do you have a preference over which one if you decide to go that route?
My preference would be Air Force Academy. Yes, sir.
At
Since
Colorado
I
Springs.
was like 5 years old, it's what I've always wanted to do.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Well, that would be a great career there. Would you, in the military, would you be involved in some kind of legal studies, or would you wait till you got
that
out?
That is my hope, yes, sir.
Okay. Man, alive. You got some smart kids on this team.
I really do. I am so blessed as a coach. I don't have to worry about my seniors at all. And some of those younger guys, I have to worry about their grades. But these
But that's
guys,
where the seniors got to show them the road.
That's
the ropes.
You know, and they. I can remember we used to have study hall, and we'd have. A few years ago, we had a couple of seniors who were getting tutored by Mason and Cole and some of these guys like that, because, I mean, they were
back in the good days.
They can do that.
And, you know, the thing about it is, we used to have a tutoring session just in our team room for our own guys to tutor each other. And, you know, it builds camaraderie.
Yeah.
And it shows some of those upperclassmen that you may be ahead of me, but I'm ahead of you in some things.
Well,
and so it's good.
It's all good. And speaking of academics, we got to mention this. I just heard this yesterday that Mason Rothwell is class valedictorian for a senior graduating class this year. I guess that's public news. I hope I'm not spilling beans. I think it's all over school up here anyway. But I mean, and that's amazing. You think about someone who's spending that much time away from academics because he's pursuing other things. He's dual enrolled, I guess, at one of the schools. I don't know if he is or not, but his future is very, very bright for him too. And it's nice. I think we had Todd Stevenson, who's another athlete comes to mind. He was a valedictorian of his senior class, and everybody knows who Todd is. But guys like that are fun to coach. Not only are they athletic and got skills, but you know,
our seniors have a
3.96
average, I think, is what it came down to. And
wow.
Cole's he's a 4.0, and Isaac's a 4.0, so that means that Tucker brought it down just a little bit. But
no, actually, I have to take part of the blame. I'm at 3.96 right now.
Okay.
3.96.
Shame on you.
I made 1B. I'm sorry.
So, but still, I mean, that's pretty doggone good. I didn't have that when I went here.
I would if I'd had all of them together, you know. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, all of my A, B's, and C's were, back when I was learning how to read.
Well, I got to have Cole tell the story. He is a tennis player.
All right, my tennis story.
So tell us how you got involved in the tennis program here.
So my sophomore year, so we're in advisory. And over the intercom, they're announcing a tennis meeting, in some classroom in the gym. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get out of advisory, Had a couple friends I know were playing, so at least just go see what it's about. So I head over there. The Coach Elrod that day immediately takes a liking to me and takes our numbers and stuff up that day. So I'm on the tennis team. So
you had played tennis up?
Never played tennis. Never even picked up a racket or anything. So I went, started playing. Turns out I actually liked it. And for somebody that had never played before, I actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I just kept playing, and here we are.
That tells you he's pretty athletic as a kid. So as a young man now. But that's good. But hey, that's something he can carry with him the rest of his life. That Coach Elrod.
Yeah. Blame it on Coach Elrod if it don't go exactly right. Franklin's a good guy. There's another super person. You know him. You know him well as anybody here.
Yeah.
You got any other? Are you the only child? You got brothers and sisters?
I have 2 younger brothers. Yes, sir.
Are they involved in athletics in any way?
The one that's in high school, he plays football. He's a kicker. And then the
Grant,
youngest, yes, sir.
A mighty good kicker.
He is.
Yes.
Sir, here's hoping he'll be able to do something with it. Sir, and then the youngest one is at Prospect Elementary right now. Is playing basketball.
Well, is tennis and basketball your only 2 sports?
Oh, they are. Yes, sir.
Okay. I always like to find out about that. And mention your mom and dad. You want to talk about who they are?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So my dad, he's a physical therapist working for At Home Health. So he's over here, helping all the I can't talk. All the elderly people.
Like me.
Yeah. He's actually helped Mr. Hambright, whenever Mr. Hambright had his hip surgery or whatever it was, he helped him get him walking again.
Okay.
Yeah, then my mom, although she is a stay-at-home mom, she does do a lot of cooking stuff, and I know she used to have her own business and did a bunch of weddings and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And Lucretia, your grandmother, Lucretia Banks Haney, we mentioned earlier, she's on staff here at Bradley as well.
She is.
That's one of the counselors, I suppose, what should be classified at. The district meeting's coming up tomorrow. Any surprises coming out of that you think of? Is it pretty much cut and dried how we're going to do this? We'll announce all district team, coach of the year, and so forth tomorrow.
Well, it's panned out in pretty much the way that
we expected.
The way it has, and so, it's it'll be interesting when we get to the tournament, really. But yeah, it's been a little crazy. Of course, this whole year's been crazy.
Oh yeah, it's
and so you can't.
We've ever seen.
I just talked to East Hamilton's coach, and there's some players that we played in the past who just decided they'd drop because of COVID. And we're finishing up. We're getting out of it, and now they're dropping and not wanting to play. And I'm going, what's going on?
Can't live in fear.
No, and so. It's been a nutty year, but I think when tournament time gets going, I think all the juices get going again, and everybody's going to be ready to play. So,
do you like the format this year where the district tournament's going to be played on the floor of the higher seeded team?
I don't. It's going to take away some of the advantages that we would have had on a neutral court. But then again, we played pretty well when we've been away from Jim Smitty. Mm-hmm. So
some of your best games, really.
Yeah, it really has been. So it can work both ways. Where it's going to be even more is a region tournament when you're going to the higher seed, because then you could really be traveling.
It's a level higher too, competition levels.
So it makes a little difference for that part of it, and so it's going to be, that part of it will be a lot more different, because we were supposed to host it this year.
Yeah.
Our district was, so that's what. But we got to get there first, and so. But it doesn't matter. In my eyes, we're going to get there, and in my thought process, we're going to get there.
Well, we wish you the best of luck there, and stay away from injury and illness and all that. And folks, I'd like to remind you that tonight, if you see this in time, come out tonight. It is senior night, celebrating 4 senior bears, 4 senior bearettes, 3 cheerleaders, and I don't know if we have some managers or what, but we'll celebrate all of those tonight. Should have a nice crowd tonight. Thursday, on the road to East Hamilton, a boys JV game, no girls JV, but the varsity games for the boys and girls, 6 and 7:30 there. And then Saturday, different time, 2:30 for the girls against Knox Catholic, 4 o'clock for the boys against Warren County. The Pioneers, pretty doggone good.
Yeah, they're, I think they're 14-4 or 15-4, something like that. And so they're leading that district over there. So it'll be a great challenge.
Good game to end the season on too.
Yeah, it really will be, because it'll be definitely to see where we're matching up over there.
Yep.
So it's a positive thing for us.
Yeah, we'll be good. And we'll have all those games broadcast on Mix 104.1 with myself and Steve Wills bringing all the action there. Then we'll get into the tournament coverage beginning on the 17th. We probably won't have a team playing that first night, but we will have complete coverage for any of our local teams, boys and girls, between Walker Valley, Cleveland, and Bradley Central High School. And I'd like to remind you folks, you're going to have to mask up to get in, or you're going to have your temperature checked. No matter where the location is at any of those schools, you're going to have to see that's what's going to be the procedure and protocol. And remind you, please, wear your mask, socially distance as much as you can. We want to keep this season rolling. Don't be the foolhardy person that caused us to lose a good season or game because of that. So,
Yeah.
That's all we can say about that. I know we're sick and tired of talking about it, but hey, it's got to be mentioned there. Thank you, Cole Haney, for being with us today. Coach, thank you as always. We'll see you tonight for the broadcast.
Well, I'm going to add one last thing.
Sure.
One of my more defining moments was when about 3 or 4 years ago, when I got to see this guy get taken down in the waters of baptism. What made me more proud than anything else to see Cole do that. And I'm telling you what, I still get touched when I think about him.
Well, that's the most important thing we can have happen in our life, and congratulations on that.
That was a blessing right there. I'm telling you,
I
to see that. So.
And I know you look at these kids as your kids, and we all look at them, and being involved around the school a lot, I get to know these kids, not like you do, but I get to know them up close. Been working with Cole for the last several days, and the attendance officer there helping. And I'm telling you, you got him and Mason in there, back-to-back periods helping us out in there, and my goodness, they could run the thing in there if they had to, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind leaving and doing this because I know that there's some really good people in there that we've got now. That's I turned it over to Hannah Maupin, and so she
can handle it. Yeah, absolutely.
She is really good at it too. So she takes care of me.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. We've enjoyed our show again this week as always. We'll be with you again next week. For Coach Chuck Clark, for Cole Haney, thank you guys again. This is Gary Ownbey saying so long until next time. God bless and go Bears.